Day 2, Tuesday. The next morning, Penelope woke me up with another bucket full of icy water. "Line up!" she yelled. Hadn't she ever heard of an alarm clock? After a breakfast of grilled beetles, we continued our marching. We marched nonstop until noon. I was hoping Penelope had decided to give us a break, but instead, she gave us a crash course in first aid. I must admit, she taught us some pretty neat things. We even learned mouse-to-mouse resuscitation. I guess we were all doing okay until lunch. That's when Tubby lost it. After eating his snail burger, he decided to dig into his secret supply of cheese sandwiches. But before he could take a single bite, Penelope caught him. She threw all of the sandwiches into the river. Poor Tubby was beside himself. "I want to go home," he sobbed. But Penelope just waved the contract under his snout. "Too late, Tubster," she shrieked. "You signed it." In a sudden fit, Tubby snatched the paper from her paw. Then he shoved it in his mouth and chewed it up. He looked so pleased with himself. But Tubby's excitement didn't last long. In a flash, Penelope had pulled out another contract from her backpack. "That was just a copy, Tubby Tails," she chuckled. "I have the original in my office." Tubby's whiskers drooped. He hung his head. His tail dragged on the ground. I had never seen a mouse look so beaten. "Here, have my snail burger," I insisted. "I'll skip lunch." Tubby thanked me with tears in his eyes. "Geronimo, you are a true friend. I will never forget you," he cried. After lunch, it was back to marching. At last, we reached the Rio Mosquito. A rope hung over the water, stretched between two trees. The river roared downstream, picking up anything in its path. I saw twigs. I saw tree trunks. I saw a houseboat filled with monkeys. Everything was swept away in the raging current. "I'm scared," I squeaked. "I'm afraid of drowning." Penelope rolled her eyes. "Get moving or you'll be sorry," she demanded. We did as we were told. What choice did we have? I grabbed the rope and began to cross the river. One paw at a time, I told myself. Slowly, we made our way to the other side. I was doing it. But suddenly, disaster struck. Someone was crying. "I'm so hungry. I'm going to faint," Tubby wailed. Seconds later, the rope slipped from his paws. He hit the water with a loud splash. What could I do? I dove in after him. Tubby's snout was already underwater. I quickly grabbed hold of his tail. Groaning, I dragged him onto the bank. Then I gave him mouse-to-mouse resuscitation. It worked. "Thank you. You saved my life," squeaked a grateful Tubby. I grinned. I felt like Super Mouse when he does a good deed. Too bad I wasn't really Super Mouse. If I were, I could have flown right home. Still, I was proud of myself for facing another fear. I guess Penelope was proud of me, too. "You're learning, Stilton," she sniggered. "You're learning."